Yeah.
1:30.
So brand new legs, hooks gonna have the wrapping on them.
Cool.
I guess that makes sense. Burlington and take that highlight out. Hello.
Good.
Oh, we still have to wait, don't we? Even though everybody's here.
Sarah, did you see the New York Times article about the New York, or the
In
Worcester?
Worcester, yes.
Like, so they've gone fine free, or they'll forgive your fines if you bring them a picture of a cat or your cat. So I said that
Okay.
Worcester Public Library, and yes, I
Yes.
said that would have been missed the ball on that one. That would have
I know,
been-
right? I want to just want free copies. Show us your
yeah,
cat. Like,
yeah.
We need
I
to
think that
negotiation.
was
Show us your cat.
Yeah.
The article, there was this one line in the article that said something like, they'll also take animals other than cats, basically any ungovernable animal, which just made me laugh.
My
Cats
granddaughter's like 7 cats at home.
Oh, really?
And
Who
old
has
mother,
7 cats?
they babysit because they
Uh-huh. Oh, do they
yeah,
foster them when they're?
yeah,
Oh,
they foster them,
yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
I get very attached very quickly.
Lucy wants to do
I
that. It's an
said, no,
iconic
I'm not gonna give them up there.
Yeah.
They love it. And they're still feeding.
Mhm.
They're not big enough to
Yeah.
Yeah.
feed themselves. We can start.
Okay.
Hold on,
Yeah, that's slow anyway. It is 7.
7 o'clock.
Yeah. For Apple.
Public
Right
comment.
on the dot.
Yes, yeah.
Public comment. No public comment? Okay. Minutes. Everybody have a copy of last month's minutes? Any questions, corrections? If not, do I have a motion to approve them? Mary? Any further discussion? No? Greg? All those in favor?
Right.
Minutes have been approved. Correspondence.
We did not have any.
I don't have any either. No, you're okay. Ongoing business. We're gonna, the friends are gonna talk about the friends meeting?
Friends meeting, it was a long time ago. It's hard because we always meet like right after this
Yeah.
one, and then it's a month. Friday is the big event. Please come 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. Yeah.
It's gonna be a nice evening. It's, all the old photos on display, a few things for sale, and a chance to honor some people who've been long-time volunteers for the library. So, please, that would be really nice. We kicked around some ideas for fundraising. Nothing, I think most of the conversation was about Friday.
Yeah.
Logistics for that. Nothing earth-shattering that I recall.
We have 2 former directors that are gonna come, as far as I know. Marie's gonna come right now.
Yeah.
And Ian Walks.
Anna's coming from
Flying on
Wow.
Wow, good for her.
So,
Yes, it's the 60th anniversary of the
Yes.
Friends, so it's big.
I'm going to put a little plea out there. I know Kristen requested bakers. If anyone could help out, we're relying on people to donate the refreshments for us. And honestly, if you're not a baker, you're a buyer, that's fine. If you're not a shopper, throw $10 my way and I'm happy to buy refreshments when I go. Yeah, absolutely. So right now we only have 3 people who have volunteered to bake something. So I figured, yeah, Nancy usually does too.
If you want just desserty type things? or
like
Yes.
handheld bites kind of
Okay.
thing. So nothing that has to be sliced or needs a utensil is
Okay.
our goal. So
Sandy has the budget, I think the total budget, hasn't been approved yet. 31,000 for the total, yeah. Budget is 31,000 and I haven't in the past, I've never balanced the budget. And somebody got, the accounting people got after me. So the balance is made up by funds on hand. We have- So the income and expenses are 31,000 and today, we had the check paid for the consortium,
yes, yep, I have that on my.
and that's a separate item in our budget, and it's been paid for.
Yeah.
And the board has approved it. But the budget hasn't been approved yet, but I'm sure the board will, we have a meeting next week and they'll approve it. And I worked out for Jody, our 10 years contributions to the library.
Yes,
$330,000 over the last 10 years.
Wow.
So,
Did you include the money for the renovation?
yes.
Yes, that includes the money, yes, yeah, that includes the money, and that was, that was about 100,000 of it. But it's quite a, so the Friends do make quite a contribution to the library.
Oh, yes.
And then in addition to the building, we do all the programs and things the town will pay for, so we're very happy. And the book sales, of course, are very popular and make a lot of money on the book sales.
So we hope they're very popular. The book sale, by the way, is right before the next meeting. It's Thursday evening and then Friday and Saturday, so.
And you can sign up to volunteer for the book
sign
sale
up to
too
volunteer.
on the Friends page.
And come. Spend money.
Yeah, that's right. Shop.
Library sign is.
Well, I am very pleased to tell everyone that the old sign has been removed. The posts were put in today. The sign would have been put in today, but it started raining pretty heavily, so they are going to maybe do it tomorrow morning, but it's been promised to me that it'll be done for Friday. It looks so nice. The letters are like inlaid and so shiny. The seal is a nice pop of green. They found there were tons of ants that when they took out the post that just came out because I was down there at the sign and with them it was gross. They found a giant bird's nest with a feather about that feathers like that. I don't know what bird was living in there, but yes. So the sign will be installed this week. And it'll be very exciting. So and then we are never going to talk about it again. Scott said we will not have to even think about it or talk about it for at least 20 years.
Greg will be happy.
The sign, and I have to say, Scott has been such a partner to me these past 18 months, I would say. He has sent the guys here whenever I've needed something done. We've saved a lot of money by being able to use them, and I sincerely appreciate them and his crew and everything that they've done between the sign and helping with the basement.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
It's an easy question. Mainly pertaining to the sign. Does he back charges for his crew working out there? Which
No.
would be legitimate.
He did not charge me for the crew. He charged me just for like the stuff that they had to buy.
Materials, yeah.
Yep. Nope. He didn't charge. And Ben picked the sign up, everything. He did not charge me for that. He didn't charge me for when they came and helped with the basement or like today they hung a bunch of stuff up. They hung some stuff for April the other week. So no, he doesn't charge
So
me
that's
for that.
coming out of his budget.
Yeah. So I think like they're in a time right now where it's a little slow for them, and as long as it's no snowy weather, they have time to do some side jobs, which is why sometimes I'll tell them this is no rush, but when you need something for them to do, I've got a couple things, so which is good. So I do want to say it's
The reason I
been a
ask
great
is when we
partner.
put the charger in,
Yeah.
let your car charger in. Part of the, I asked him to give me a budget for,
Yeah.
just for his people, roughly what it would cost to do, because we had to dig it all by hand, because there's a plethora of wires in the ground there. And he did, so I included it in the cost of the charger and whatnot. And I got that money, that's the money that got approved. I didn't get it approved, that's what the state approved. So when we got a check, I told Ellie to cut him a check, because she was town treasurer, cut him a check back, however they do that internally. And he said that was the first time he'd ever gotten money
Yeah.
to cover for
Yeah.
his men,
Yeah,
to do work. I mean, it's not, it's
Sure.
gotta come out of his budget
Yeah.
somewhere,
yeah,
unless he's got a mushy line item there,
Yeah.
which is okay.
yeah.
But no, that's good.
Yeah, that's very good. He's been a great help, and
What's his name?
Scott Tyro, he is
Been
the,
in town for
Head of the-
four generations or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
you
he's
know.
the head of the highway department, and Ben, Keith, Joe, and Guy have all been coming up and doing a lot of things. For primarily, Ben has done so much, so I'm really grateful to them. So
One thing, they
signs-
leave the public works department alone, and they all know what they're doing, and they do a good job.
They do an excellent job. Yeah,
Are
I
they
mean, Mary,
afraid to
you
melt this
can.
afternoon?
What's
Are
that?
they afraid to melt today in the rain?
Oh, I think Mary, you can.
new sign you got wet.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
right.
up yet.
You can confirm how nice the basement looks.
Well, I was just
now,
gonna say,
so-
we could probably have a large
Yeah,
ballroom
yeah, we
down
could.
there.
Yeah,
you
this
know?
would be a nice place to take a break. Quiet down here. And it's getting organized.
Yeah, that's right,
and-
now you need couches.
They did a great job.
Okay, that's ongoing business, new business.
Oh, we just have to review and approve the amendment,
Oh.
the revision.
Yeah.
In the
Oh.
policy, I took out that line that said, if they pose a danger, whatever, the potential to endanger the public safety. I took that line out per our conversation last month. So this just reflects the new one, and once it's approved, I'll add the date to the bottom for the revision and post.
Oh, this is the meeting room.
This is the meeting room policy, so we took out the line where it said you can't book the room if we think you're going to be a danger to the community, or however it was phrased, so.
You have
I
to
think it's
vote on
like
that, right?
groups deemed to be a danger
It's in
to
the
the
minutes.
public.
It's right here on our old one, it said,
No group or activity which has the potential to endanger the public safety will be allowed. And it's very subjective.
Yeah, we did that for memory.
Yes.
yeah, that's a.
Yes, I had all the policies memorized verbatim.
We had the, thing to approve, right?
This is the approval, yep, so it's right here, and, I just deleted it, I didn't add anything, I simply deleted that
Oh,
line.
what about there's something else missing that mentions that like the policies will be made available or made visible.
On the old one,
Yeah.
I deleted this one line that I think someone left in that says,
So the
something about the font.
yeah, the following disclaimer: minimum 12-point fonts need to be released in any publicity. So is that just relevant to the statement on public safety?
No, I may have just accidentally when I was deleting things. That looked as see rules minimum 12-point fonts. Following there is no disclaimer. Oh no group was.
And that's what
I mean,
I was
oh
wondering.
yes, no that it does because that was the disclaimer. So I did take that out.
It
yes.
only is associated.
It was only with that one. There was nothing else on it, so I deleted that sentence as well. Yes.
At the beginning, you had where we were gonna vote on it. At the very beginning, there was a little section,
No, that was just
it was a
that
draft.
was something when April and I were talking about non-Burlington, not-for-profit groups. I had highlighted it because I was trying to explain the language and I was getting a little confused. And then when I looked at it again, it does make sense. So I deleted that. That was just for my own personal note.
Okay.
So it was just what that sentence was, and I did delete the part where it said you had to put that on your publicity.
So we get to vote on this, right?
Yes.
We already did.
No, we did the
According to
draft.
minutes of last week, we voted to delete the sentence. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, we were gonna
Oh.
look at the draft though before we approved it.
Doesn't say that in the minutes, that's all I'm saying. If we want to vote, we can vote. I'm not sure.
We have to vote to
Yeah.
sign it.
So
All those in favor?
Yes.
Approved.
okay, I will get that updated on the site this week.
Yeah, I think we voted to do the draft of it. And
Yeah.
yeah, because you have to,
Yeah.
you can't approve anything until the next meeting. So,
Okay.
new business.
I'm gonna turn it over to Sandy. That's okay.
Okay, every so often we go over the responsibilities of the board of directors, and since there's a lot of new faces since the last time we did this. And I think the three of us have a whole binder of stuff, but I don't know whatever happened to that. Marie gave us this big binder.
Yeah,
one
I think I
time.
still have that somewhere.
And I'm not gonna insult you by reading the entire policy. I gave you a copy of it. I just wanted to highlight a couple, things. This is from the town charter. So these are our responsibilities and our only responsibilities. And, the first thing, just, don't use this, don't use this for your personal advantage, like going up and saying, I'm on the board, so I get to have the first crack at that book.
Much as you would like to.
Much as I and this board is responsible for expending money that we get. The third thing, this is kind of the gist of what we do. We have the power to approve rules and regulations for the proper operation and management of the library. So we develop policies, regulations, procedures to make sure that the library is a safe, comfortable, functional place. That's it. What we don't have the responsibility for is huge. We are not responsible for programming. It's not we don't get involved in book selection. That is not our thing. And by the way, that's also true for the Friends who donate money for programming and for books. The Friends do not get involved in selecting the programs or selecting books that are chosen. That's not, the big thing is personnel. We don't do anything with personnel. That is not in many libraries, the board of directors would be Jody's bosses. We are not her boss. We are not the staff boss. So we just have to be careful that we follow, when it comes to anything to do with personnel, we're just patrons. So you have a question, a comment, a concern, it goes to Jody. You have a question, comment, concern with Jody, it goes to our first selectman. That's the way it works. And it's a really fine line. We had something occur years ago that ended up, I don't have any social media at all, but it ended up on one of these Burlington blog pages where somebody, not even on this board, on the Friends board, made a comment about there was nobody at the desk, and then he said, well, that's all right because they never smile anyway. And it blew up on social media.
Wow.
And it was one of these Burlington gossip pages.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it was the hardest thing to chase down. So when you say or do something as a board member, it's taken differently. And I learned that as a teacher. You have to keep your mouth shut a lot of times because it's perceived as coming from the board, even if it's just coming from you.
Yeah.
So anything we say or do, we're reflecting the board whether we mean to or not. So just, but that's basically, we're concerned with the building. Jody's job is to worry about the staff and the programs and the book.
The only time we get involved with the personnel is when we think, we're talking with Jody, we think that there's not enough staff, the town doesn't budget enough, or when she wants to add a position and she asks us, how's our book sale doing, are people taking out books, we get involved in that. So, but it's nothing to do actually with the staff,
That's
other
a
than
budget.
it's a funding function
When-
and a recommendation, not how to handle staff. Or how to
We had nothing to do with her hiring. We were not included in the process. In fact, we weren't even notified when she was hired.
What's that all about?
Yeah, you know, and any of the staffing, that's her job, so.
Well, I was asked, you know, whether I thought she was appropriate.
Yeah, but it wasn't,
Not as a
we
board
weren't on
member.
a committee
Right.
to select. So it's that's a distinction. So if it pertains to the building, spending money for the building, that's us.
And not that we can't make recommendations or talk with Jody on what to do, which
Right.
is what we're here for. Sometimes it's after the meeting she'll ask us questions. And that doesn't get written up. But don't be afraid to talk to her or have a comment on that.
Well, you know, we had so much turnover in the last 5 or 6 years, and we have such a great staff right now. And, you know, I'm just really proud of. what
Well, I told you that time, that
Thank
the woman out from out of town left a check for the staff. She left $100 for the contribution to the library. She was so happy with the staff, how they treated her. And she was out of town.
Wow.
And of course, I told the staff too, because it's really,
Usually you see out of town people who complain. Right?
yes.
Yeah. All of our complaints are from Avon.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
You live in Kansas.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Sandy.
Okay.
All right.
New business, that's all the new business? Director's report.
So we have our statistics here. You can see that Hoopla is again very popular. Our online or downloadable statistics are just keep going up.
That's a huge jump in circulation. Wow.
Yes, we're doing really well with circulation, which is great. Jasmine had a really fun display out in February where she did the blind date of the book, and patrons really like that, where they don't know what they're getting. And Alex also has something similar. She does a lit kit where the teens sign up and they don't know what they're getting until they get home, and it's a lot of fun. So I want to talk a little bit about our registered users because I'm really proud of this statistic. Every month we'll see our total registered borrowers, and then you'll see the 1 year expired. And usually, if you look at last year, there was like a 600 plus gap between who was currently a cardholder and who had expired. And we've been really working hard on retaining. I know we have like a new message that goes out to patrons when their card's about to expire. It's a little friendlier than what the previous one was. And that number is so close to almost all of our patrons retaining their library cards. So I'm really pleased about that. And we had good signups last month too. So let's see, programs. April did her Kind Hearts program again in February, which was an all ages passive program, and people really liked that. We decorated all of the windows with kind messages. And yesterday was the first of the Dungeons and Dragons program for teens, which was requested by several patrons, and Jason Williams, who is our dungeon master for the adults, is now doing it for the teens, and they had a wonderful turnout and a wonderful time last night. Let's see.
I just had a check for a chicken program.
Yes, April will be getting some eggs and an
Were you getting the red
incubator.
chicken thing?
Yes, and we'll be having some chickens in here. So
Let me warn you, the day they hatch, you're not gonna get anything done.
I'll cover the dust of it because I get
We
kind
just
of
all
grossed
kind
out
of
by
sat around the,
stuff like
but the
that.
best thing is patrons came in and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, no, we understand.
I came in today. There was 6 or 7 kids in the children's room. They were running around. They were having the greatest time.
It's been really, the parking lot is full all the time now. It's really positive to see. So our monthly visitors were right on target from last year, up a little bit more. Creative Bug, we've got quite a few people who have subscribed to it, but not too many sessions. I think we'll do a little bit of a push with that. I'd like to do a night where we do like a database show and tell, and people can come in and learn how to use these databases, because they might not even be aware that we have them, or they might be just a little intimidated by how to use them. Consumer Reports continues to be high. Bowl Yoga, I got a couple new subscribers the other week, so that continues to be noticed and used. Tumble Books, this will probably be the last month that we see Tumble Books. It's expiring, and in spite, of course, it went up to 28 from like the standard 2. We are going to discontinue our subscription, but we've replaced it with, I want to say it's called the Education Station. It reminds me of like a Teachers Pay Teachers. What it is, it's a database where people can come and you can access it from home if you're a Burlington cardholder, or anyone can come here and do it from our computers. You can print out worksheets, curriculum-based worksheets. So April kind of had a trial of it, and she tested it out with the homeschool families, and they found it very helpful. So it might be a great thing to advertise a lot during the summer too. So people that want some worksheets or keep their kids sharp and engaged. And Bookflix was okay this month. So the website the Constant Contact, I sent out our spring programs, and I had a lot of nice feedback. People came and told me how much they liked the newsletter. I think sending it out quarterly rather than monthly has made a big difference for me and Christy, who were the ones who were doing the newsletter. But I think it gets opened a lot more. Our open rate is about 50%. So I think it's getting opened more that it's not coming monthly. So, okay, so that's it for statistics. The budget, we're doing pretty good.
It's right where it should be.
It's right where it should be.
66%, 67%.
Our books and subscriptions is a little lower than what I anticipated it to be right now. So I'm going to use some of the money in books and subscriptions for Hoopla. I have to say, we are hanging on by a thread with Hoopla. It's so popular, and it feels weird to say we can't do it anymore, but I do not know how we can support it. Sandy very kindly turned me to the attention of the Main Street Foundation, and I met with Susan Sadecki and Kate, I don't know her last name, I apologize, but they came and sat with me and were basically like, what do you need? What do you want? What can we help you with? Because there's money for Burlington and no one is coming for it. So I talked about Hoopla and programs. I talked to the staff, and it doesn't seem like there's the urgent need for programs. I was a little wary that they might not want to support Hoopla, but they were all for it. They basically said, we just want to help you. We want to help you succeed. So the deadline for the grant, I want to say I wrote it down somewhere. It's March 22nd. So when I meet with the Friends next week, it will be the Friends who are applying for the grant. It will be under the Friends. We'll talk about what we want to put it towards, but Hoopla, it's just getting too expensive, and reducing it from 4 borrows a month to 3, it does not seem like it's going to help. And 3 would put us at one of the lowest in the state for borrows. And Tuesday, when they were polling, and somebody said they do like 10 borrows a month for Hoopla. Oh my God.
That's what we started at when we first got
Wow.
But that didn't last very long.
No, and I feel like 4 is reasonable. 4 is one a week,
one a
and
week,
not everybody uses all 4. So that's, not everybody's using all 4, but we've already reduced the amount of content they can get, so they can't get the $3.99 anymore. It's only the $2.99. And
When you did that, did anyone even?
I don't think
notice?
anyone noticed. I will say I do my borrows from another library, and I'll have to see, because I was getting like the new Ann Patchett and Remarkably Bright Creatures and some really hot books, and I'm curious if we have those. Yeah, so I'm going to take a look, but I truly don't know if we can sustain it.
So you would use the Main Street money? For
I would
Hoopla?
ask for, we talked about it. They asked if 5,000 would help, and I said 5,000 would get me through a year, but we're going to be having the same conversation in a year. So
No, we wouldn't want to spend that money.
the Friends, I can't keep asking the Friends to pay that.
that's
And
not-
Maybe our ebook legislation will pass.
maybe that's, And I met with Doug yesterday. I just had a couple things I wanted to talk to him about, and I asked about the budget and where the libraries was based on being reviewed yet, and he hasn't gotten to it it yet. He anticipates meeting with me in a few weeks. He did glance at it and said that it's gonna have to be cut. So I can tell you right now, you asked for a 6% increase, you're gonna have to cut. So I'm going to put some things together because I think we went with a 0% for this year, and I don't think the previous years we were asking for too much, but it's the increase I think is truly due to union negotiations happened and salaries went up. And because the union members went up, I had to adjust the salaries or the hourly rates of my part-time people. And you're asking to cut from something where there's no fat.
And the
So.
towns approved, they had to approve the budget for the salaries for everybody.
Yeah, did they include the salary, like when they
When
say
I
that?
did the budget, it did not include the salaries because the union was still in negotiation at the time. So they added that in, and I'm thinking, because I don't think I was asking for 6%, but I'm thinking like
That's what I was wondering, if they
6%
include that as part of it, because like if it's entirely out of your control.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I thought it did, and I thought that's where it was coming from, but I could look and see what I asked for, but it's going to be hard to trim out.
Well, in the past, they've been very good on oil,
Yeah.
heat, and electricity that you have no control over.
Right.
They've always,
Right, yeah.
always approved that to be, and if you go over that budget, they don't ever complain because you have no control.
And our
Yeah.
oil right
And you're not
now
gonna turn the heat off.
is,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
the oil right now, we've only spent 34% of that budget. That is because I don't have that fireplace going all the time. So it's really based on request and it's no longer on for ambiance, but I don't want to cut that because, I can't control oil.
So are you're definitely cutting the hoopla though?
No,
that's
I'm
depending
going
on
to
the
go for
grant.
the grant
Okay.
and see, and then I'm going to use some money for materials for hoopla, and
Okay.
I'm gonna put like a Band-Aid on it until I find out about this grant, so.
The hoopla comes out of materials, right?
Well, hoopla was never paid for by the town. I had ARPA money that went towards hoopla, and then the Friends have always paid for hoopla. But hoopla is just growing. So, and I'm so happy. I'm happy people tell me all the time they use it, and I'm like, that's great. Are you a member of the Friends? Would you like to become a member? Have you shopped our book sale?
Because if it's approved, the association can put it in the budget. They don't have a problem. I don't
It
think
would probably be May.
And
Is that
May
what-
for.
Is that what?
Oh, for Main Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what Kate said?
She did not tell me, and and she did say that they do it differently now. It's a general application. So instead of me saying I'm applying for the Women and Girls Fund, you just do the general app, and they try to find a grant that will fit your needs. So
Oh, that's easier.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
that's great.
Yes, yeah, and they truly were urging. He said not a lot of nonprofits in Burlington are reaching out.
And they have the
so.
Parker Fund, which is
They
strict-
do,
which is strictly for
yes.
Burlington.
Yes, and that's what they were hoping
Yeah.
that it would come from. So,
And if they told you nobody else has applied,
well,
that's a good
she
sign.
said, Susan said to me, she goes, "Watch me tell you." And she goes, "This is
Right,
the year
yeah,
that
right.
everyone needs something." So, yeah, don't tell anyone.
Well,
Don't spread
it
the
was our
word.
secret.
It was a fall application.
Yes,
We used to do the
yeah.
interviews in November.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this email came and said, surprise, we're changing it, and they're due March 22nd. And I went, ugh.
Yeah.
So I went to Jody and said,
Yeah.
get on board. But I don't know how many people know that they've changed that.
Oh yeah,
Let's not
hopefully
tell
not
anybody.
many.
Yeah, right.
But when I meet with the Friends next week, we'll talk a little bit more about it and come up with a plan.
And there's the Burlington Fund too, which is strictly for Burlington.
Yes, yeah, they did say that the Parker.
I think it's like
Trust, I think,
$100,000 in
has
Burlington. Fund.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Oh,
they-
and the Burlington one.
And they do,
Oh,
they do like a
yes, we have-
5%
oh,
total.
okay.
Yeah, we have a Burlington.
Burlington Fund, yeah. And
Yeah.
And then their spending goal, they're like 4 to 5%
Yeah.
of the market value, so. It's hope that-
Well, Alex did apply for a grant through the summer reading, the state summer reading program, and if she does receive it, it will cover the cost of all of her programs. So when I talked to her and I talked to April and Jasmine, it didn't seem like we needed to do it for programs, and it was better to do it for hoopla. So, Let's see. Okay, so,
So the town only gives us $2,000 for programs.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I asked for 35 next year, so I guess I could cut that back again. I don't have anything to say about the building. They cleaned a bunch of stuff out of the basement. It looks great. The sign's going in, and that's it. I did ask Craig about the wires on the roof. Ben said that they're working and they're fine and they were on and
Didn't look like it, but
yeah.
Did they mention anything about solar panels? For the-
No, the town is still getting theirs. We're supposed to be next on the list, and I kind of don't ask Doug about that because I know that's been a kind of a long, arduous task. But if you look at the roof, they're moving along there at town hall. So I think they had everything like.
Do they actually have the panels? I think they don't have the panels.
No, it doesn't
It's
look
like
like it. It's like they put the
already-
grid right. Yes,
the
that's what
grid
it
is
looks like
ready,
to
but-
me. Yeah, I haven't
Otherwise,
seen
there would be
anything.
panels piled up.
Unless they have them in the garage. It's the only thing I can, because of the weather. It's the only thing I
They
can
had to
think
burn
of.
the tape from the posts on the building for months.
They did, but that's,
Oh,
I
it's
think
been
they've,
months.
it's different now. I think
Oh.
like that, the tape is off and now it's like it's something else. It's like Sandy was saying, it looks like it's all ready to be popped in there, so,
that
yeah.
stuff is up for ocean. To let you know if you're walking near the edge of the roof.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, yeah.
okay.
Right. And upcoming programs, news, events. I just want to say Alex had her first book club at Lewis Mills today, and she said she had a good turnout for that. She's doing that alongside the school librarian. And Friday, of course, we have our big celebration of the Friends, and I hope to see you all there. It's so I asked Sandy, he had mentioned this. I asked him last week. You're so good too. Here I am typing an email to you at like 8 at night, and then you get back to me right away. So I don't know which one was the first thing on our email. But I said, could I have a breakdown of all the money that the Friends have given to the library in the past 10 years? Because I'd like to do something up, and it's astounding. I said this. I spoke at the select meeting last week, and every single person that's walked through this door has benefited from the Friends. Just the fact that there's a building to come into has benefited from the Friends.
Well, it was
So
Bob Merriman that 20 years ago started, and you got to have some money aside for a building fund. And we spent $100,000 to the town for the building fund.
it's the amount of that we were able to do with that, and we have another one of those plexiglass square grid things that people can sign. So for next week, you can buy a square in which the Friends a happy anniversary on that. We're gonna hang it up right outside in the hall, so on the other side of the doorway. So we have some other goods for sale that we've been working on, and of course the photos.
And
So
the sale of the postcards would go to the Friends.
everything, yeah. We have magnets, postcards, bookmarks, and notepads. Caitlin took on the notepad and she made a little production line of staff making these notepads, and it's kind of cheating to say go look at it today. I hope you wait until Friday, but Caitlin did an illustrated timeline of the library, and she did it on the old pamphlet slat wall. We turned it around, and Jason Williams painted it for us with chalkboard paint, and Caitlin illustrated. Scott helped with the dates and the research. It was a very collaborative effort, and it came out better than I could have ever imagined.
It was a really busy 3 weeks.
We have been
Can't wait for
insane.
Saturday.
Oh, as I said, when this is all over and I'm like, it's in the rear view mirror, then I can go on to our next upcoming news and events, which is our seed library, which will be up and running as soon as I get my seeds from UConn. We were able to get 200 packets of seeds through UConn and Ocean State, so I will sort all those out into envelopes and we'll have our seed library up. I do have one thing that somebody from the Burlington Land Trust and the Pollinator Program, they themselves, I believe it's just themselves, it's not the Land Trust, they would like to put in a raised bed and plant pollinator plants in it. Scott has already talked to me, or Scott in the history room, about doing some raised beds for a community garden. And I want to see where Scott is on that before I give the okay to this person affiliated with the land trust, because if we're doing it, I know who's taking care of it and I can control it a little bit better. And
That's what I was gonna
And
ask,
here's
who's
the thing.
maintaining
he
this?
did not say, and that's hours will go
I mean,
probably.
like anything here, as someone who's highly allergic to bees and wasps and hornets,
Yeah.
but the idea of a pollinator
In a community, no, yeah.
in a community
Yeah.
area, I mean, I do have
I-
an EpiPen in my purse, but
And we don't want anyone to have to use it. I know for the staff, for what we were planning on doing, it was going to go where we took that stage out last year. So, I'd like to wait to say yes to that until I talk to Scott and gotten a little more information. I'm just a little hesitant because he did say he would purchase and plant everything. He would just need the staff to water it. And I know it sounds like a simple, like your water, but believe me.
The garden,
Take time, yeah.
Look at the dead flower that Mary gave us.
How about
I
the
think
box
came back to life
secret?
though on the front table. So
Well, that's
red.
okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, somebody donated boxwoods, oh God, it must have been 10, more than that years ago, and they died and
Yeah.
got infested and it was a nightmare.
Yeah, that's
And-
what
and
my
they
concern
were,
is.
you know.
Yeah. I would rather not be responsible for the death of someone's.
Well,
We
the
plant
thing of
something
it is with
to
pollinators, once they're established, they'll live forever. I mean,
The
So,
perennial, be
yeah.
perennial plants, yeah.
It's like the daylilies.
yeah. The garden club in Canton has the entire back of our building. There's probably about as wide as this table up against the building, probably 100 feet long. That's all
Wow.
pollinator.
Oh, wow,
Plants and-
okay.
And we have no issues with,
Yeah.
the deal with the bees is that if the plants are there and they like the plants, which they do, they don't bother you.
Okay,
Because they
Unless you're walking
don't
among
nest
them,
in them either. They nest elsewhere.
okay.
Um,
Well,
but yeah, honestly,
They're
like
a
so, like the
busy
garden
group.
club, the
Yeah.
Cherry Brook Garden Club, they're
Holy
yeah,
cow.
they really are. So the first couple of years they put that in, it was a lot of maintenance, but after that, they come in like once a year and pull a couple weeds, and
Okay.
that is really it. I mean, they don't have to do anything to it.
I'll get some more information from him and possibly invite him to Zoom or come to our next meeting if we have any questions. But Scott did offer to do something for us originally, and I kind of don't want to, say no after he made the effort. So, but I'll get some more information and.
the garden club is kind of in limbo around here.
Yeah.
So I hear.
yeah.
Yeah, and my wife's in it. and-
Yeah. They should just all join the Cherry Brook Garden
Yeah.
Club.
Send them here to me.
Because they do a lot of stuff over there.
Well, they have the whole thing going on along the bike path there.
Yes,
Yep.
that was the pollinator.
And that is not
pathway,
only, I mean, that is like a person.
Oh, that's just one person?
Well, I mean,
Well,
she's got a couple of,
Ann
yeah,
helps
there's a
sometimes,
couple,
so-
yeah.
And they're coming up already.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're already.
But yeah,
already-
like
They're
Karen,
amazing.
who's the, I don't know what,
Karen, yeah.
Karen Berger, she's the, that's her baby, the pollinator. And she does all the library gardens too.
Oh,
Very nice.
yeah. But that's a long, for gardening, as a gardener myself,
Yep.
Yeah,
that is a long
Yeah.
strip
Strip.
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yep.
But there are more, they are coming up.
I'll get some more information from him and let you know next month. So
That's it then, right? Like,
that's it
upcoming
for my
events,
report. Yeah. Yep. So
adjournment,
Yay,
Yay.
20 of 8.
all right.
7:41.
Thank you for taking the minutes today. I greatly appreciate it.
And I
If you want to
just
give me your
spoke,
paper,
the
I'll
book
take
sale
it off.
that-
All right.
Right after the next
I'll
meeting.
be
I don't know what
We'll split the work.
Right, sometimes I can't look at the computer, because I'm on the computer all day.
There you go. Thank you.
I almost didn't bring my tab, so there you go.
Learn your lesson. didn't you?
Yeah. Well, if I knew, I would have brought my computer and just typed it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's faster for me to type than try to write.
Yeah.